Skull Merchant was most recently released, and I've been seeing a trend in correlation to the Steam player count. I like to check the player count to see how the game is doing over time. Ever since November, the player count has been hovering around 33,000 to the low 30,000 player count on average. And you gotta ask the question, why? What's really going on? Well, if we look at the history of DBD, this is not as bad as the 7-month period that Behavior had where they were losing players non-stop. Matter of fact, on April 11th, they started doing matchmaking tests to try to fix a problem people were complaining about in correlation to skill-based matchmaking and Boon Circle of Healing. They nerfed Boon Circle of Healing, they reworked skill-based matchmaking. And now, this was around the time that the player count spiked back up to 2,000. A breaking streak of the pain points, the game spiked back up and people were happy. On June 2022, this was when the Roots of Dredge was released, a brand new killer that's horrifying, makes the entire map dark, completely changed the game. We had a massive spike of, I think, 17,000 or 17 or 12,000 extra players coming into the game because it's something fresh, something new. Wow, this killer makes it so that you're completely blind. It's just like DBD's a horror game again. That's pretty sick. As well as Wesker getting released in September and The Night getting released in November. That of which equating to several spikes. The Dredge released 17,000 extra players. Wesker released 2,000 extra players. And then The Night, not really well received because of his infamous 3-gen setups, because people found this Eruption 3-gen holding the game for 1 hour meta to be a little bit boring. The player count dipped a little bit when The Night was released. And this brings us to this Reddit meme. Based on my humble observation, I guess it's safe to say that this chapter was a massive failure. The killers I faced the day Wesker was released, million Weskers. The killers I faced the day The Night was released, millions of Nights. Even though he was not really well received, he was a pretty cool killer with a lot of love put into him because he has his 3 buds, his Mori was sick. He summoned AI that chased survivors for him, but it wasn't really well received on the survivor spectrum. But still, just because he was designed cool, people didn't really mind. When Skull Merchant was released, people weren't really playing her because she's only really good at like a 3-gen setup. And now when it comes to the player count, Adriana release, you don't really have that typical spike that we see. When it comes to the Dredge, it's something completely new. When Wesker was released, wow, this killer's really fun. When The Night was released, okay, he's kind of hard, very difficult to play. He's really strong at like a 3-gen setup. Survivors don't really like facing him, but he's cool. And this is the beginning of the stagnation of 33,000 players. I know she just came out just a couple days ago, but she's not being as well received as the Dredge and Wesker. I think this is because of the public perception that people feel Adriana was a rushed killer. A lot of hype surrounding the game usually surrounds the new features, the new perks, the new killer design, the new games that you'll face against this brutalist, murderous, bloodthirsty murderer. And then Adriana's plays very similarly to The Night. She's one of the best at holding a 3-gen setup down with her drones, and people get very bored of that type of play. That of which has resulted in a 5-month player count stagnation within the low 30,000s. It almost feels like people are getting bored and they want something fresh, they want something new. There's not too much crazy stuff going on. What's happening at Behavior's offices? There's even memes going around, people saying that they're not going to play the game for 3 months until the anniversary. And even though there are 6 new perks with Thalita Lyra and Renato Lyra, along with an Eruption nerf, things of which that are crazy for Survivor, this feeling of stagnation within the community has not gone away. It feels like people want something fresh and new, something crazy, an update that changes the whole game. And when it comes to things that Behavior is doing, they gotta be doing something. So I went on a deep dive to do a little bit of research to find out what Behavior might be working on. Maybe these are some things that we can look forward to in the future. Maybe in the near future. Maybe there's a reason why Skull Merchant felt so rushed and that her ability is suboptimal and her Mori was suboptimal. Maybe there's a reason. So this brings me to a survey that Behavior released on December 22nd, 2022. What potential do the following features have an impact on your excitement for Dead by Daylight? This was created 3 months ago. A new type of gameplay, in-game events, a new PvE game mode, a new PvP game mode, new game objectives in the current game mode. Behavior seems to be correlating community excitement with making possibly crazier events, refreshing up the current game mode, or making a completely new one. And when exactly could this be coming? I can get more information in correlation to game modes when it comes to what Dean has said. There's a rumor of an event for Meet Your Maker in DBD, but I imagine they'd announce it first. This is an all in correlation to another response saying the event is called Barrel 2023, a Meet Your Maker collaboration that will start from March 14th to April 4th. Will this event introduce a completely new game mode for the duration of it? We know Behavior's been asking about it within the surveys. Or will it just be only a bunch of cosmetics in combination, just like how they did Death Garden? But since it's being branded as an event with its own name, not just being called Meet Your Maker, I can assume there's a possibility that it might just be more than a bunch of cosmetics. Granted, this is only speculation coming from me. There's also leaks of an Alice in Wonderland menu theme. So I have to ask the question, when has DBD ever created a cosmetic collection where they get their own menu theme? What could that possibly mean? Has that ever happened? Maybe it has, and I don't really remember. But I have a hunch with a name such as prestigious and as crazy as the Alice in Wonderland collection, there might be a potential map. Maybe it could be a game mode. Why would a collection get its own theme? This is also just speculation, but it's just something to think about. Maybe we have something to look forward to when it comes to a collection coming to DBD itself. There's potential that it could be crazy. But again, just kind of speculation. In correlation to DBD's Year 7 roadmap additions, they're also adding a visual terror radius, as well as the ability to spend blood points. When you have too many blood points, this would become an issue. Within the next few months, we'll make improvements to the blood web to make it easier and faster to spend your blood points than ever before. And this was posted on January 26, 2023. As the current month is March, maybe this change will be coming very, very soon. And this also brings me back to the roadmap. We had the Skull Merchant, which didn't do so well, but we have another killer coming up. Chapter 28, the Anniversary Killer, which is coming within 3 months. Typically, Behavior wants to focus a lot of their energy on making the Anniversary Killers a very special release. And I think this ties back into maybe why Skull Merchant felt rushed. Maybe Behavior's putting a lot of their resources in working on in-game events, different cosmetics, new game mode, adding more features to the current game mode, and working on the crazy Anniversary Killer in 3 months. Things may feel stagnant and boring for November through March because Behavior probably is working on things they know the community will be excited about. And if that means the Skull Merchant is a bit of a flop, hey, maybe it's worth it if we're getting a new game mode, changes to objectives, or some crazier events, or maybe a really nutty Chapter 28 murderer, so that the anniversary event will be pretty sick. And everything may feel a little boring right now because it feels like things aren't changing as rapidly as you want, but when we look at all the leaks and things the developers are thinking about, and the next chapter being an anniversary update, there may be a crazy ton that we have to look forward to. It's just that Behavior likely hasn't announced it yet. I just want to address the concerns with this stagnation that I've been seeing with the player count, as a lot of players may be feeling like the game is boring. But I just wanted to bring a little bit of a different perspective, everything that I know, as this is part of the main reason why I believe that we actually have a lot more to look forward to. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hope to see you guys in the next one.